you don't understand the rules of power, you will certainly lose to someone who does.
Yo, I think we are good to go. Start off, NQ. We have the Globex as open, waiting for the 1 hour to be established so we can start trying to look for an IB entry. So right now we have, I believe, the high. This is going to be the high of the IB. And now we're just waiting for the low to be established and see what we can trade from there. Let me open up my broker. There we go. Dope. Good to go. And then after we're done with the IB, like how we've been doing, we'll do some updates on crypto. So far, we haven't had much interesting price action in NQ. Just a lot of chopping. Let me see. No, this is the right one. This is the right chart. Let me close this one. Let me open my broker on this. Okay, perfect. Yeah, we haven't had much interesting price action so far. Just a lot of ranging. We did have a Model 1 distribution up here. Did have this Model 1 distribution which hit its target down here, but unfortunately I was at work during this, so I wasn't able to catch an entry, and then you left a bunch of liquidity which actually came up and did get taken once again. For right now, I think yesterday we ended off the stream around this area, or I believe around here. We were watching the IB. Yeah, we were watching the IB, but the IB actually got taken. So the whole idea of trying to trade the IB was invalidated. But later on, price actually did come up, and we had some sort of range. And here, leaving the, I believe this is Asia, the Asia high intact. And we had IFEG flipping IFEG into the last IFEG flip, which we actually did not trade, but this would have been your entry, an 8RR. All the way down to liquidity and Asia low and demand. Could have traded this for 8.23 RR. Again, clean IFEG valid on the 3-minute. Yeah, supply chain coming in there as well. Not really. I was watching for a local entry to take back up, but I wasn't able to find anything locally. For right now, we haven't had any interesting price action or anything that I'm, looking to trade. We just got to see how price develops right now and see if we get anything interesting. And then this is going to be the IB. So this is going to be your high for right now. So we'll mark this out. IB high, and then you have your New York high up here as well. So New York liquidity, gonna be New York liquidity, and then your New York low is down here with London. So you got New York and London. Let's see, New York and London. Those lows are still intact. That's New York. And we're gonna have this London low down here. London liquidity. Perfect. Here, let me check the stream real quickly. Dope. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, stream is good. But yeah, now we just wait now for the IB to be established and see what we can get a trade. We got the supply over here. We didn't leave any supply up there either, and then you have the New York high above, so it's gonna be interesting. We'll see how this plays out. Let's see if you have any type of SMT with ES, and it doesn't look like you do. Nope. Yeah, no. Yeah, no SMT. Let me close this off for now. Yeah, today New York literally just pushed up the whole session. Not really a whole lot to be said about New York. You did have this scalp model 1, which entry was at 1230, which I wasn't present for. So the way you would have actually traded this, even though there's no clean entry, you do have this IFEG here. I know one of the guys that I trade with, he was looking at this model, he actually traded it. But I'm not too crazy about this model, to be honest. You do have liquidity buildup. You did have it on return to zone. Break a structure back to bearish. But again, not too crazy about this model, honestly. Liquidity sweep. What is this? Yeah, this is liquidity. Not exactly this. Took that liquidity, and then you created this IFEG. Interesting price action. Very, very thin IFEG. Or could we do this whole area as the IFEG? I'm gonna do this whole area, and then you had supply above. There we go. Which actually did come back and get mitigated. Price came up, had another liquidity sweep. Just dissecting this model to see exactly what was going on. More liquidity sweeps. So you could have entered on this, ran something like this to this low. But again, you have to be able to analyze this. while the model is you know, confirms. But again, I'm not too crazy about this model, honestly, because it's not something as clean as we had, or was it over here? This model was fucking beautiful. This right here was clean, and I'd much rather trade this model than the model over there. So I'm not too crazy about that. And then with that being said, you know, you had this 30-second IFHE, which is a lot cleaner. So you could have just shorted that, you know, something like this. This is what you know, if it was something like this, I would have been a little bit upset about missing it, but it just wasn't. You know, 8RR play in a matter of minutes. And if you're doing options, these type of plays are the ones where you make crazy money on. You know, that was your third tap. You see 8RR in a matter of, let's check this out. Yeah, 22 minutes. So that's clean as fuck. Oops, moving on. Just pushing lower right now. Preferably we get a set the low, we have a move up, and then we come back and mitigate supply to dump lower. Could be something to the similar, not a similar playbook, but we were talking about last time, of where, you know, we have price coming back up to this supply zone and our IB is not protected by anything else over here. You know, we can open up a short and just have this stop like this and, you know, run it back down to the low. We can play something like that, which could be very interesting, but just gotta wait to see how this develops, because we also have this supply zone here, and so far got no clear volume. So this is actually backed by the volume area high. Since New York open, what do we have? Yeah, so price tapped into this low volume though, and then had an aggressive move down. Not a whole lot, honestly. Not that I see, at least. Just gotta wait for this hour to be up. Yeah, so for right now, just patience. Let's see, just getting an aggressive move down. So we can actually try to mark out market structure on the 30-minute. You actually have your MS slow here. Point that out. By default, no. So I'll mark that as our low for right now. gonna be our low, our MS low. And this is actually a nice market structure too. And on this lower time frame, we did break back to bearish. I'm just not seeing a whole lot, to be honest. Yeah, honestly, I'm not seeing a whole lot. Maybe I'm not looking hard enough. Let's see if there's demand here. And if not, then this might be a short stream. And I just might move on to crypto because we did have a big dump. Let me delete this. Let me just move it right here. You're sweeping this liquidity right here. Might be highest set. You have New York liquidity above. You have supply above, preferably. We mitigate this off this model 1 distribution schematic. That's going to be the LPSY supply. That's actually backed by the POC as well. And that would be super high probability. So yeah, at the moment we're just having to grind down. Nothing much to look at. Yeah, so clear market structure, you know. From here, all I see is market structure wise. Depending how we approach this market structure low, you're either gonna get, you know, you have your low, you have a high, you have a low, and then you have a high, you know. You actually SFP this low. So you're either going to SFP or break structure back to bearish, but let's see what time frame this market structure is valid on. I know we said 30 minute, what about 45 minute? I like the 30 minute. I like the 30 minute structure. 30 minutes. So we get a candle close, a body close under this. That's going to be market structure broken back to bearish. The way this IB setting up, we might get that break, and we might leave New York intact, the New York high, and then we might come down for this New York and London low, and you have more New York liquidity here that was left from last session. Yesterday we left off, or we didn't leave off, but we during the night I was looking at this, and before I went to sleep we were around here, and you know, I was thinking to myself, we have, you know, Asia highs, we have the New York high and the London high above, and then you only have the New York low. So you got to kind of think, and then you swept the Asia low as well. And the thing about this Asia low, we talked about it 2 streams ago about the first candle setting a pivot. The first candle setting a pivot for the session. So this pivot was the low. So the first candle of Asia open set the low. And that becomes a very nasty draw of liquidity. So, you know, naturally liquidity has a tendency of sweeping this low to clean it up. So you didn't, you know, you took out the Asia low, and then you reversed back up, took the Asia high. So pretty clean price action. That actually London opened and took the Asia high, sorry. And then after hours took out New York, and the London and New York opened and didn't sweep any more liquidity session wise, but we left the New York high and we got New York low and London low below. So if we do break structure here, if we break structure back to bearish, I do expect us to come down and take these liquidity points. You know, we'll talk about this one once we get there, but for now I do feel very confident in saying if we break this 30-minute structure, we are going to take out the New York low and the London low. That's just where most of the liquidity is going to be sitting at. And if we don't come down and take these lows, I do expect to move up to take the New York high, IB high, and then come up into these supply zones. And from there on, you can look for a short, which would be absolutely clean. So right now we're getting a bounce back up. And the IB is going to be established in 15 minutes, so gotta be patient. Yeah, just nothing much to really, go over right now. Just trying to, stay ready and execute once the market allows us to. Yeah, this is the reality of trading. You literally wait, and then you wait even more until the market's like, okay, time to go, bro. Time to execute, buddy. Another low. Just been grinding down since the Globex opened. Liquidity sweep. See, this could be nice. We get that push up right now. Do we have any clear liquidity? 15 seconds. Actually, I want to call this liquidity. This is going to be the only liquidity I see. It's going to be clear liquidity. And then this swept that liquidity. I mean, there's some type of IFEG here, which I'm not really too interested in trading that. Got a bearish IFEG here, but again, you got to look at the context here. You're at the lows, not very high probability, but you did leave this. Check this IFEG out. So this is actually clean. I do like that we're getting this push up. Yeah, just push higher, and then it should be the low of the Globex. Gotta stay a little bit more patient. Yeah, super chill stream today. See what Price has in store, hit the gym, take a shower, get ready for tomorrow. New York Open, because usually during New York, that's gonna be whenever you have, you know, the highs. That's gonna be your cash session. That's what it's called, cash session. And then that's usually whenever you have the most amount of volume in the market. During the Globex Open as well, but the Globex Open isn't as liquid as New York, right? So you get your Globex Open here, right? Big liquidity spike. Or not liquidity, but big volume spike, right? From compared to this. But look at New York. This is going to be your cash session. So you just see like the big volume spikes in New York, right? So New York opens here. New York opens here. This is going to be Asia. Asia comes in. And then London, I believe, is like right here. Just based off volume, you can tell when these sessions open. Because London is like around here, 2 a.m. That's whenever you get like big volume spikes. But look at just New York. New York is just like New York Open, New York Open, New York Open. Because price usually goes down during lunch. This is going to be like the lunch hour right here. Lunch, and then New York PM just, you know, gets that volume pickup. So this is lunch. So keep in mind, if this is going to be when institutions are at lunch. And then here, I'm going to point it at the green arrow, this whenever they come back from lunch. Which is actually insane. Lunch. They came back for lunch here. Now these big volume spikes, that's whenever you have institutions coming back. So I'll highlight this like this. This whenever they're coming back. This whenever they're back. This whenever they're back. You know, you get a little bit more volume. But whenever they're at lunch, you get these low volume spikes. So usually you don't want to trade around those times just because there's not that much volume, meaning there's not going to be a whole lot going on in the market. So just a little something you can keep in mind. We'll see here, maybe we get an inverse here on the 1 minute, but again, you're not getting a whole lot here. Yeah, I just want to push up, honestly. Yeah, just staying patient, waiting to see what's up. Getting a move lower. I'm just not seeing any entry, dude. Maybe this 30-second. But you didn't. You didn't really do a whole lot here. You know, you can try to short something like this. What's the RR on this 3? Or rather this 7 RR. We can try. No, I'm not gonna try it. You still got this liquidity. You can even sweep the liquidity up there. Not something that I would be interested in, to be honest. Did create this high feature on the 1 minute too. We'll forward test it. We'll see if this plays out, because right now this IB, the IB hasn't been established yet. Establishes in 4 minutes, so we'll see exactly how it plays out. A little bit more patience is required. Oh yeah, you wouldn't. See if you retest this IFG. Yeah, not something that I would take, just due to the reason of, you know, you didn't, you know, if this liquidity was swept, you know, I'd be interested, but getting a move lower. Interesting. Yeah, super chill. We'll see how this plays out, dude. You're already breaking down pretty aggressively. Yeah, and if this moves down to the IB high, we'll just move on and try to see what crypto has in store. See if we get anything interesting that we can trade, any opportunities. I don't believe we'll get any trading opportunities today regarding crypto, but just nice to update our POIs and see what the market has in store as well. Tomorrow will be the last stream of the day, so I'm gonna most likely finish up streaming around. I'm gonna try to stream in the morning, maybe New York Open. Well, I gotta sneeze. Bless me. Excuse me. Yeah, getting that move lower. Did ES take the high? ES did take the high. Motherfucker. You did take that high. That's interesting. So you had some type of SMT here. Or ES did take that high. Check it. But again, dude, ES is not very liquid, dude. That's why I like NQ better than ES, bro. These candles fucking hurt my eyes. This looks like shit. So I'll try this. If we get filled, that would be nice. If we don't, we don't. I'm gonna have my stop loss above this. Hold on. We come back and retest this, so I have my stop loss above this. Yeah, if we even get it. Contracts. Damn. Was I too late? Am I gonna get filled here? Okay. No. Okay, yeah, I'm out of that. I don't like that. Oh my god, that sucks. What the hell was that? Alright, I think we just wait now. Just chill. I honestly didn't expect to get filled that quickly. I was way too aggressive. Like, fuck no. So the IB low is set. Now we're gonna look for shorts down. Leaving demand behind. I like this. So I'll actually get rid of this. Oh yeah, you already tapped into that demand. Nice. Got liquidity above. Rid of this. Like, please give me something interesting. Do we leave demand? On the 32nd, you have this demand. OBIF. I'm not gonna put too much importance on it, but it's there. See what Bitcoin's doing for now. Bitcoin aggressive move down. You did get this 4-hour market structure, but broken back to bearish. We can actually try a short here. We do get it. You built the supply, I'm guessing. Created supply. If price comes back into here, we can try to take a lower high expectation, trade it back down. Excuse me. Yeah, this could be a POI here, overlapping supply. And you did have this part that's mitigated. I'll highlight that for right now. Let's check this out. Boom. And I'll have a alert set at the supply zone. Boom. Go back to NQ. Getting a move down. So you completely disrespected this and you had the liquidity sweep. And now you're getting the move down. No entry. That sucks. Yeah, no entry at all. Maybe on this, 15-second. This right here. Inverse 15-second, but something I feel too confident in, especially whenever you're coming into demand. And on top of that too, you're moving up and you're slowly moving down in volume. Something to keep in mind. Yeah, just gotta wait and see. I'll put an alert at this low. It says I'll set an alert at this low right here. Anyways, we'll move on. Bitcoin right now, not a whole lot to look at, which it's been like that for the last couple weeks. The last couple weeks there just hasn't been a whole lot to look at. Right now we do have this freshly built supply zone from this last move down, which we can watch and see if we can get any lower high expectations to take down to this low right here. That would be pretty high probability with the fact that we did break structure back to bearish, and we do have that objective order flow of making a new low, which is going to be down here. Ethereum, different, a little bit different. We actually already mitigated that supply that we were just, no, you haven't mitigated it. Again, we'll watch this supply for mitigations and continuations lower. 30-minute. I'll highlight this 30-minute OBIF. Here we go. And I'll leave that at that. That's gonna be pretty much for Ethereum, and then you have buy side liquidity above as well, so something to keep in mind. And if we don't, you have sell side liquidity below as well, so kind of in a weird spot. On Solana, you're coming into demand. No ranges at the moment. Honestly, I'm not going to go too in depth over price action here. There's just not a whole lot to look at. XRP coming into demand. a left supply, which you front ran, and you came into this refined demand as well. So again, nothing really to look at. Pepe, you're in demand at the moment, having a move back up, unless we break market structure back up here to bullish. I'm not interested in anything locally. That's going to be your market structure high. I'll set an alert there. Excuse me. Sui just having a pretty crazy aggressive move down, sweeping all this sell side liquidity. At the moment, no near entry opportunity on it. We're actually getting this. It's to be a Model 1 distribution here on NQ. Very aggressive though. I'm gonna put an alert at that high and alert at this demand. Yeah, again, Sui just having a very aggressive move down. Doge is a little bit more interesting. You're getting this range potential accumulation, so we can actually watch this range. This is completely valid to watch. We'll set an alert at this range low. And you also have a nice return to zone as well. So buy side liquidity being left behind with no demand. You do have this OIBIF, which I'm not going to pay too much importance to if we do come back there. And then you're coming into that demand here as well. Well, you're not coming into it, but you are at demand here. We'll watch this range. See NQ alert set. And you're getting a move back down. Let's see. Can I sell this? Let me sell SL of that TP low. So I'm actually gonna sell this OI. This inverse. So we're in that. On the 30 seconds. And you do have this supply up here. Which you actually inverse this bigger one. Check this out. You have a bigger oh my god, that's actually fucking clean. You inverse this bigger inverse gap, and then you have the typical exhaustion coming to the highs, and then you have that liquidity sweep. Boom, IFEG reverse down. Boom, clean. Yeah, that's clean. I like it. I'm gonna front run my take profit a little bit early. I like this. Supply left. You had exhaustion coming to the highs. Liquidity sweep. Inverse that. I like that. Pretty happy with that entry. Oops, I didn't mean to move that. Do that right there. Alright, I meant to move this. Oh my god, I can't move it. So dumb. Nice liquidity build up. Yeah, I like that. That's clean. 1 minute inverse. Something shorting something like this. For a 3.4. Nice. Yeah, we're in this right now. IBP. Clean price action, dude. I like that. I like it. I like it. Yeah, getting closes up here, I'm not liking it. Because the thing about inverse fair value gaps, you got to think about it as you know, these moves are pretty aggressive and almost instantaneously. So whenever you have price coming back to your IFVG and start closing in the zone, you know, it's saying that the sellers weren't able to push price down, that imbalance just wasn't strong enough, sellers weren't strong enough. But whenever you have like a reaction like this and you're pushing down, you know, that gives you a bit of confidence of, you know, the sellers are there. Yeah, so whenever you get a move like this, you know, I'm not very confident in this IFVG working out. So let me see how this candle closes, see what we get on the next candle. So if we start closing in here, I'm gonna close out the position and wait for something else. Yeah, that's so weird, dude. Yeah, whenever you start playing with the IFVG like that, I'm not really liking that too much, honestly. I want aggressive sells now. I don't want price to. I don't want price closing up here. I don't like how it's playing around with this IFVG. Yeah, you're testing that zone a little bit too much. I'm not liking that. I might actually look to close this. I'm waiting for something new, honestly. I just need sellers to step in here. We don't see any sellers, and we start again closing up in here. Gonna look to close a position. We do have supply above too, which, you know, I can kind of keep that in mind. We can definitely come back up and mitigate that supply. So now, you know, now you're looking at my thought process, right? So I'm thinking, you know, you've had multiple retests as this IFVG and you keep rejecting from it. You haven't had any bullish candle closure up here, but you're getting these moves back up, which I don't like. But then again, you know, you have supply above and my stop loss is on that supply. So, you know, if I do get a candle closure in here, I want to see how price reacts to this mitigation of supply before closing the position. Because if we do get a candle closure here, I run the risk of closing the position too early, mitigating supply to move lower. That's kind of where I'm at right now. We go on the lower time frame. There is not a whole lot to look at. Dude, look at this liquidity getting just built, dude. And then the low, that's going to be your draw liquidity. So I like front running my might take profits by a bit just to avoid the whole, you know, getting front ran. We had that like 2 IBs ago where you front ran. Yeah, I want to see how this candle closes and how we approach this demand. Could just stop me out too. No, we just took an L. It's all good. We journal it. We move on. Alright, we mitigated demand. Supply. I want to see how this candle closes. Could stop me out here. Yeah. Yeah, idea is invalidated. Unfortunate. Yeah, super unfortunate. Super nice entry here. See what Price wants to do now. Again, I'm taking these trades with, you know, a lot less risk than I would, you know, usually, just due to the fact that, you know, I'm still learning. You're watching the come up of futures trading with me. You're watching the process. You're watching the process. That's exactly what you're watching. Yeah, I really thought this one was gonna work, honestly. And these get invalidated if we take the high. That's how these get invalidated. Swap this liquidity. We're on the 1 minute, 2 minute. We can inverse this. Yeah, I'm still looking for an entry here. Yeah, I'll take as many entries as I need, honestly. It's more like a testing phase. This isn't really to make money. This is more as trial and error. See if we can flip this. Liquidity sweep. I like this. We inverse this. Get in on the retest. So retest here. Stop loss above this high. And target down here. Gonna be a good move. Now we just gotta wait for this candle closure. See what it wants to do. Yeah, that last entry, you completely disrespected that supply. Just had him another move higher, but you did sweep all this liquidity though, all the way up here. You have this big inefficiency at the high, so if you do, see, I want to see an aggressive sell here, close, and then we limit sell. Not like this. No, so this. We'll get in on this retest of this, so we do get a retest. Again, you're getting this exhaustion moving up. So we're in there. Boom, boom. And then you sweat this liquidity. Yeah, so again, this is more like a test run. I'm, testing out trading these. So just for the fact that these trades do mean something. Target this low. We'll see how this plays out. I like that entry. Just trying to take valid entries. You'll have supply above as well, so. Push back up. Watching the process. Yeah, I'm not really liking this, to be honest. IFVG is not IFVG. We close in here. I'll close the position. Yeah, you're coming into the supply, having no reaction, completely reversing this whole move. So sellers weren't there. Interesting. They're gonna stop me out. Push out 5 seconds till the close. I'll close it right here. Yeah, I don't like that at all. This IFVG should have been protected. Instead, you reversed the whole move and closed inside of the zone. Not interested. Super weird price action, dude. Yeah, you swept everything on this. Nothing but liquidity on the lows. So we can inverse this. Oh shit. Because this could be building up to be a Model 2 distribution. The way that it's coming out, Model 1. The range starting point is there. No, this candle's already closing bullish. What's the volume profile doing? There are two auctions. This is your one auction, then your second auction. So IV low is gonna be still the target, but dude, you're just getting price action that keeps wanting to go higher. More exhaustion. You're inverting that. Interesting. So we can catch an entry here. I like the supply, Bojan high. Model 2 distribution schematic. Oh my god, bro. Let me fucking move this. Stop loss above that high. Distribution. Model 2 distribution. IFEG. 30-second IFEG. Clean. Just gotta get comfortable with taking entries like this. Trying to identify stuff like this real time. Delete this one. Swept everything, so I'm gonna actually label this as liquidity as well that we did sweep. So depending on how we come on this IFEG, if we come up and we disrespect the supply again, candle closures in here, I'm gonna end up closing the positions because these IFEGs they're quick, dude. They're not gonna hang around here and then dump lower. These move quickly, so something to keep in mind. Just more liquidity getting built up. That low is still your target. Nice trend line liquidity. Let's see. Are you gonna come up? He actually did not break that back to bears. We get to move down with this fucking thing front running my sell limit. Be a bit thrown off. Let's see, dude. Let's fucking see. Demand mitigation, push up, push down. Again, leaving more liquidity intact, dude. Oh my god, are you gonna film me? They front ran me again. Okay, we're in that. Oh, you're gonna push up. Oh, rejections here. Nope. 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 Yeah. No, dude, you're gonna push above this high. Damn, that's annoying, dude. What the hell? Hmm. I think I'm just want to watch price action right now. Just want to see how this develops. Give me 1 second, guys. Alright, I'm back. Gotta press F1 every time I unmute my mic. Yeah, dude, I don't know how I feel about this price action, though. Like, I feel like you're getting a distribution here, but I just can't quite find an entry. I tried this one here. I tried this one here, and then I tried this one over here on the 2 minute. But it's just not been working, so I wanna see what's going on here, dude. But yeah, anyways, we'll move on to crypto. I think I'm just gonna leave that alone for right now. Again, this is gonna be on like it's a prop funded account, so I paid, like, let's say I paid, for example, I paid $70 for this account, and it's a $25,000 account, and you know, it's like I paid $70. I don't really give a fuck. I don't really care. You know, paid $70. I'll take as many entries as I want to try to, you know, learn this. So it's just a learning process. So don't think I'm over here fucking, you know, just spamming entries just because. So Farcoin coming into demand here. Let me put on another song. Coming into those lows, nothing real interesting, honestly, guys. The only thing that we were talking about earlier was going to be Doge. You might get a possible accumulation here. Depends if we deviate that low here, not a bit. This, I'm going to delete that and mark this out as a distribution. There we go. ADA, nothing. Like, these altcoin pairs just haven't done shit, dude. Nothing. Yeah, even if we want to, like, these moves are not something that I would trade on XLM now. Make BTR.
If you struggle with focus, this sound might change everything.
No. Dude, it's just not anything interesting. You're getting this range here. Just deviated. Return to zone, is there some type of return to zone? Demand POI. Yeah, so we'll see how we approach this demand POI here. I like this. Tap 2, tap 1. This nice distribution schematic, or distribution accumulation schematic. So we'll watch this. Put alert at this low. Oops. I like to front run my alerts a little bit. POI, let's do third tap, demand POI. So the only way that I would take this is if we get BTC confluence. So we don't get any BTC confluence, I'm not interested in taking that long. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. So let me close this out for right now. Hype, nothing. This, I don't know. Link, you're interesting. Nothing interesting. Link, you're interesting, but I don't want to trade you. Poll, nothing much. Render, just getting liquidity build up. I don't know. Markets just have been kind of dookie. Yeah, like, holy dude. Like nothing that I can see, right off the bat. This gold is moving lower. So we talked about yesterday, you actually came back and you mitigated that supply. Silver moved lower. Oil, nothing interesting. Coming into this demand, which could be pretty crazy. What do you keep doing? You inverse the inverse. Did you take that liquidity? No, you didn't. Did you have? You probably did have some type of SMT with. Fuck. Okay. Let me lock in real quick. Nah. With ES. Dude, it's just been like, what the fuck? Where do I find an entry here? Like, look at this price action. Holy shit, dude. It looks like ass. You can't trade ES the way you want to trade NQ, bro. Like, that just doesn't work. This is your low, dude. That looks so bad. Oh my god, that looks horrible. Looks horrible. Yeah, there's nothing clean on there. I mean, there's a small IFVG here. But dude, I'm not entering that. Fuck that. Yeah, dude, just fucking. Let's see if it comes back for. We got an alert right there. And then we'll put an alert at the low. Oh, already got hit. Mitigated, dude, and then you had an aggressive push up. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, dude, this price action isn't it. I don't like it. Let's see, USDT dominance. Getting aggressive push up. Again, we were watching for a high time frame distribution, but we're getting a lack of return to zone. This is just like very V-shaped price action. You can invalidate this and push up to all-time highs. Getting a break of structure back to bullish here. So you can count this as an SFP, or not even a break of structure, is only valid on the 1 hour. And then you came back up. Keep saying so if you invalidate this range, you'll come up and most likely take out the all-time high. That's pretty much about it, guys. Honestly, I don't really have a whole lot more. Yeah, right. Let's see. IFEG fucking disrespected. Holy shit, dude. Could you get this type of range here? Get this high probability ranging environment where you get a deviation. Get some sort of we're gonna go insane trying to trade this. I think for me the best thing is sometimes literally let price action just play out, and then I'll go back and I'll look and I'll see, okay, what was the entry trigger here, and you know, that kind of paints a clear picture of what you're not seeing here. This would have been clean. This right here, mono 2 distribution, pushed down into the IB low. Asia is about to open in 14 minutes, so we'll see what price wants to do. Yeah, leaving demand at 1 minute. BIF. Okay, you're getting your deviation here. So you're respecting the range. You actually just filled this one efficiency. You damn near just about filled this one efficiency, so. Might be getting something here, but then you have this supply above. You just have to see. It's like, holy shit, dude. You've been playing around with me all fucking day long. You've been teasing. And there's no IFEG opportunity on the 1 minute. What about 3 minute? No. None. We're at the supply right here. See how we approach this. Disrespecting supply. Okay, you definitely did respect that. Just watching. See here. Got liquidity up here. Give a 15-second break distraction. Bro, what am I trading? Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna call this stream for right now. Maybe we do get something interesting later on, but right now I'm just not seeing it. I think we're just low on volume. I'll be back on live tomorrow.